he hides behind the cloud. His heat goes cold and his fire goes out. He drowned the fish and broke its neck, threw it down upon the deck. Fry your fish, fish heads best, fishy thighs and fishy breast. He loses his way, to the forge he flies. Kuttenberg is far, far away, Kuttenberg is far, here I'll stay. My breath is short, my feet are sore, I'd buy a horse, but I am poor. The sun may burn, the sun may shine, but you will not wither, darling mine. Now, for the last time. The sun, he hides behind a cloud. His heat goes cold and his fire goes out. He drowned the fish and broke its neck, threw it down upon the deck. Fry your fish, the fish head's best, fishy thighs and fishy breast.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
They say you're the best blacksmith in the whole region. That metal you've tempered never breaks.
Ah, nothing but old wives' tales. Of course some of my pieces have broken, but only ever here, at the smithy.
No one's ever returned anything for you to rework, though, have they?
Not that I recall, but I can't remember everything.
Father was a blacksmith all my life. He always stoked up the furnace till it roared gently, and you could smell the heated iron. Then he plunged it into the water, and that was that.
Fine words, and no mistake. I do it a little differently. I heat until the metal is 2-3 shades short of bright yellow. I ease up on the bellows, and after a Lord's Prayer and a Hail Mary, off it goes into the water.
It's strange to think that I'll never help him out with it again. Our forge will stay burned out forever, unless I go back to the trade myself.
It would be a shame not to, lad. Working iron is a worthwhile thing. Godly. It makes life easier for folk. And, let's be honest, you can make a decent living doing it.
Thank you. It was good to remember how my life used to be.
Maybe you'll have the good fortune to return to your trade.
I've heard it said that you're a warlock.
What? Why the fuck would they say that?
They say when you temper steel, you chant spells, and then nothing of yours ever breaks.
Spells? That's a good one. It's no spell, just a rhyme to time myself so I don't hold the steel there too long.
I'd like to ask you about the tempering process.
And I'd say I've nothing much to tell you. You just need an eye for it and a furnace.
Let's stop talking about tempering. And when you quench, there's nothing special you do?
Well, that depends. I heat it up again after that, but not so it starts to glow. I just hold it like this at the edge of the furnace for a while and then quench it again.
You quench twice?
Yes, although there's less quenching needed the second time, it doesn't get quite so hot.
And how does that help?
I don't rightly know. I found out about it by chance. I got caught short, needed to piss so bad I left the rod resting by the furnace by mistake. That's how I found out if you quench twice, it doesn't break as easily. No idea why, but I've tried it enough times to know it works. Farewell.
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
Any chance of some work?
Well, come to think, there is one rather delicate matter to attend to. A while ago, a holy man came by here. He said he'd come from the Holy Land, and he was selling various relics he'd collected on his travels to pay his way.
I see.
Well, I heard he had some fragments of a sacred sword that once belonged to the fabled Czech Queen of Sheba. But by the time he reached me, he had no pieces left of the sword. All he had was some dubious wares, splinters from our Lord's cross, thorns from the crown, nothing of interest to me.
And where did the pieces of the sword go?
He sold them off to swordsmiths and blacksmiths hereabouts. They just keep them lying around at home for good luck. If I had them, I'd forge them back into a sword. Can you even imagine what power it would command? If you could get me all the pieces of the sword, I'd repay you very handsomely.
Are you sure the Queen of Sheba's a Czech queen?
Who else would she be? Have you not heard of her? Our son priest. She's in the Bible.
Uh-huh. Isn't it a bit strange that some pilgrim would have something so valuable?
Are you suggesting he might have been lying? Well, people aren't to be trusted, but this is nothing to joke about. God would smite him in a flash if he made light of holy relics that way.
What kind of power did this sword have?
What do you think? It brought its bearer good luck in combat and protection from enemies.
Where can I find the powers?
Like I said, the smith hereabouts bought them from him. They say the largest piece is with the rat-eyed swordsmith. The bastard probably won't want to sell. But if you manage to swipe it somehow...
I could do with a sword like that. What if you sold it to me?
Well, everything has its price. But this one would be expensive. Getting hold of the bits is one thing. Forging them back together is quite another. That tinkerer from Rateye couldn't manage it.
Well, it does sound very interesting. I'll ask them and see what I can do.
Excellent. You'll see you won't regret it. I'll pay you well.
About that sword.
Take care now.
The sun he hides behind a cloud, his heat goes cold and his fire goes loud. He drowned the fish and broke its neck, threw it down upon the deck. Fry your fish, fish head's best, fishy thighs and fishy breast.
What happened to you?
So, from the beginning. The sun sets out across the skies, he loses his way, to the forge he flies. Kuttenberg is far, far away, Kuttenberg is far, here I'll stay. My breath is short, my feet are sore, I'd buy a horse, but I am poor. The sun may burn, the sun may shine, but you will not wither, darling mine. Now, for the last time. The sun he hides behind a cloud, his heat goes cold and his fire goes out. He drowned the fish and broke its neck, threw it down upon the deck. Fry your fish, the fish head's best, fishy thighs and fishy breast.
What's that?
You don't need ghostly
My
riders for that.
pleasure.
But I went outside. They were mounted.
Hey, who's there?
13 of them. Hail. All speaking a language I've never heard.
I'd like a
before.
beer.
It didn't sound in any way human.
Maybe they were Hungarians. Are those devil worshippers
respects
who
to you.
raided Scallis? Those, humans.
Are there any problems
only
around
you
here
were
I might be
right.
able to help with?
Well,
One of them
depends
took
what
off
you're
its
willing to
helmet.
do. Of
And?
course, it's your own Scalix
skull.
folk need the most help.
Nod
There's some
to
of them
the
at the
bone.
monastery.
A
I talked to
skull.
Johanka a few times.
So white
She's working her fingers to the bone taking care of the injured ones there.
Good help.
I'm sure she'd welcome some good Samaritan who'd lighten her load. And it occurs to me,
And how many ales
You're from
did you have
Scalix,
when
ain't
you
you?
saw this?
you must
Such
know Fritz and
nonsense.
Matthew then.
But still.
Them
Good
fellows
story.
need to learn some manners. They've been making mischief and folk are getting fed up with them. And there's another thing. There was one troublemaker around here not long ago. We dealt with him. He was selling some relics he claimed were miraculous. But it was nothing but worthless trinkets. The villagers sent the bloody swindler packing so fast you couldn't see his heels for dust. All the way to Ledechko, I believe. I reckon he won't last long there either. That's all I can think of. Farewell.
Ale.
Here, just as you ordered.
You. What the hell are you fooling around here for? Be off right now, or I'll fucking see you with it.
God bless you. Thanks.
Is something the matter?
And
My
where would
respects
see
to you.
Forest men.
In the forest around
Is
the
there anything interesting going on here?
in Germany.
It's so peaceful, it worries me.
What were you doing there?
I
Take
was
care
on
now.
my holy pilgrimage, of course.
One beer.
The locals discouraged me from going, but I didn't believe
Right
them,
up.
which I soon learned was a mistake.
So what happened?
At first, nothing. I was strolling through the forest. A great downpour of rain began. Lightning flashed across the sky, and a great roar of thunder followed.
A storm.
That's what I thought too, until suddenly I know you. I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from?
What?
Coming.
Of course, my dream. You were in a boat made of bone, and I put a crown of thorns on your head.
All right. Tell me about this dream of yours.
That dream. Yes, that dream has come true. I dreamt that a young man would become my apprentice, my own pupil in the trade of miracles.
And that's supposed to be me.
Who else? What's your name, young man?
Henry.
Henry. A powerful name. So, Henry, are you ready to become my apprentice?
First, tell me, who are you, and what do you do?
Me? I am an unworthy, low, and miserable servant of Providence. Scholar or merchant, believer or heathen, I wander the world without home or family, with only my wagon, offering miracles to those that need them. That's who I am. Without home or kin, I wander this world with my wagon, providing the miracles that people need. Ointments, relics, aromatic herbs, rare spices, talismans and amulets for luck. All these things I have.
What exactly does it entail, becoming your apprentice?
A lot of work and strenuous labor. Knowledge of medicine, theology, and white magic. You have to study the great works of the ancients and devote your time to understanding your fellow men, listening to them, and learn to read their souls.
That's a pretty challenging task.
That's why God has sent you. So what do you say?
All right, I'll be your apprentice.
Wonderful! Oh, glorious day! I have a successor in my work.
So, how do you plan to start training me?
With a test of your practical skills.
Oh.
I have my eye on 3 rare objects of great value.
As usual.
But sadly, they're a little difficult to obtain.
But just so we're clear, I'm not stealing anything for you.
Who said anything about stealing?
You said these are valuable things you're after. I don't suppose you can just pick them up anywhere.
Valuable for me because I know their power and strength. For an ordinary mortal, they barely mean anything.
Oh. Well, that's fine then.
First, I need a tooth of Saint Procopius. Then I'll need a branch from a topping out hung on a church. And finally, a talisman for luck from a passionate player.
Bloody hell, that's a lot. All right, one thing at a time. About that tooth, it's going to be slightly more complicated, isn't it?
I know. Yes, it would be very difficult to gain such a rare relic, of course. That's why I have an alternative solution.
I'm listening.
One beer for me.
A layman named Procopius lives by the monastery, and it just so happens, thanks to my intricate medical knowledge, that I found out he has a sick tooth.
How did you find out he has a sore tooth?
As it happens, he told me at the tavern. But that's not important.
And how am I supposed to get the tooth?
I haven't the faintest idea. You'll have to think of something. But maybe you'll be able to persuade him to let the blacksmith pull it.
Wouldn't that be swindling people?
It is, and it isn't. If I sell that tooth as the tooth of Saint Procopius, then it certainly is deceitful. But if I sell it as a tooth from Procopius of Sasau, then I'm cheating nobody.
Does it really matter whose tooth I bring then?
Of course it does. The name Procopius in this holy land is shrouded with mystical powers. Sometimes I might play a trivial trick on someone, but I assure you, I'm no swindler.
Fine, I'll get it from him.
Wonderful.
This topping out, what's that?
You're not a carpenter, it seems.
No, I'm a blacksmith.
I see. Well, a topping out is a decorated spruce or a conifer tree hung on top of the roof of a new house to bring good fortune and God's blessing.
Well, then all we need to do is break off a branch somewhere, buy a few ribbons, and we've got our own homemade topping out right there.
You don't understand, young man. The topping out was sanctified by a priest, and it hangs on the highest church far and wide. You can't just replace it with a decorated branch.
Fair enough. That topping off is hung pretty high, isn't it?
Naturally. It hangs on the rooftop according to tradition, and the church is tall.
And how am I supposed to get it down?
Damned if I know. But they had to get it up there somehow, didn't they?
Very well, I'll get it. This player's talisman, where am I supposed to find it?
I actually have a specific one in mind. Here at the inn, there's a dice player who always has a cat's paw with him. That's supposed to bring him luck.
A cat's paw? I thought players bring along a rabbit's paw for luck.
I thought so too. But this man is winning one game after another, so cats are clearly even more powerful than rabbits.
Oh. How am I supposed to get the talisman from him?
I haven't a clue. It won't be easy, but I'm sure you'll find a way.
We'll see. Very well. I'll get you the paw. I'll get looking for those things then.
Excellent! You do that, my journeyman. Good luck. God be with you.
About those other things you wanted from me. I'll get looking for those.
Excellent! May the Lord watch over you.
Coming right up. Hey? Is someone there? That sounded like...
Come right up. It's a feast for your eyes and your stomachs.
Garlic,
It's hard to
carrots,
resist. You're not
beetroot,
find better
onions,
things anyway.
all that grows in the ground, fresh. Come right up.
Fancy novels, sweets of all kinds.
Yeah.
Cucumbers, lovely cucumbers, asparagus and prune.
Good day to
Our
you.
Lord's tasty. Good on bread and for frying. Come and get it,
God
fine
be with you.
people. And pork wrapping too. And enjoy the
My respects to you.
Are you in need of a helping hand, Master Butcher?
Helping hand? No. But I've got a problem with supplies.
I understand. The roads aren't safe these days.
No, that's not what I meant. Beef and pork I can get plenty of. But the burgers here have a taste for aristocratic food. And maybe you can help me with that.
You want me to poach game?
Heaven forbid I would ever suggest such a thing. No. You would have to get it by, other means.
I don't want to spoil your plans, but game doesn't grow on trees.
No, but if you happen to be walking in the woods and, came across something, if you see what I mean.
All right. Let's say I'll take a walk in the woods and I'll come across something and bring it to you.
Excellent. I'm glad to see you speak my language. Get me a wild boar for now, so I can see what you can do. And don't worry, you'll be well rewarded. May the Lord watch over you.
Fucking come on then.
Is that all you got?
Here somewhere. Had enough? Call that combat.
Well landed. Boja viejo.
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
Master Blacksmith, I think I know how the tempering gets done in Sasau.
And what have you found out? Don't keep me on tenterhooks. Out with it.
That chant of his is a sort of nursery rhyme. He uses it to time his heating and quenching.
Well, there we are. I thought those rumours about casting spells were a load of nonsense. And do you recall this little rhyme of his?
Maybe, but that's not all. He heats the metal twice.
Twice? Why would he do that?
You'll have to ask him that. But the second time it didn't hiss, although he heated it. And that rhyme of his, it went something like this. The sun sets out across the skies. He loses his way, to the forge he flies.
That sounds like the start of something.
Kuttenberg is far, far away. Kuttenberg is far, here I'll stay.
And 2 and 3.
My breath is short, my feet are sore. I'd buy a horse, but I am poor.
Yes, that would be about it.
The sun may burn, the sun may shine, but you'll not wither, darling mine.
And 7.
That was the first part. Now the second. The sun he hides behind a cloud. His heat goes cold and his fire goes out.
And that's how the second part begins, is it?
He drowned the fish and broke its neck, threw it down upon the deck. Fry your fish, the fish head's best, fishy thighs and fishy breast.
And 4 and 5.
And that's all. That's the way it went.
Right. The first part long and the second shorter nearly by half. I'll have to try it out. Here's your reward, and if you're in need of a job...
I'll give it some thought, Master Blacksmith. I've heard that some time ago a pilgrim from the Holy Land was selling a few relics. Did he come by here and offer you part of a sword?
Would it surprise you if I said yes? Why do you ask?
I'd buy the piece from you.
Well, why not? I don't know why I let myself get bamboozled into buying it. It's quite useless, and I can't say I've had good luck ever since.
Is this enough?
That's a poor offer. Good luck then.
Not surprised. Betty was always good with her house.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ be praised.
What's happening around here?
Nothing much, thank God. Peace and quiet is a blessing in this day and age.
Have you got a bed for the night?
Certainly. For how long?
Just the one night?
Sure, but let's see your coin first. These are harsh times.
Here you go.
You'll like it here. Like sleeping on a cloud it is.